again, YouTube. This is Dr.Kendo, and we're here with Scribblenauts Unlimited and Unmasked. So we got both games up in here. And so, of course, this is the Object Editor / Hero Creator commentaries. Today is an exciting one because we're actually continuing with some Pokemon. I know that people love Pokemon whenever I create them in this game and just love Pokemon as a whole. So starting off with this Gargoyle, we're making a request for all of these people right here. I'm not going to say the names anymore. I'm just going to show them on screen just because it's gotten to a point where sometimes I'll get the name pronunciations wrong. And no offense, but some of you have some like crazy names that I can't pronounce and stuff, whether that's your real name or it's your YouTube username or whatever. And sometimes I just can't pronounce it. And so I actually have people who I do a request for, and then they just like, the only response they give me is, "You pronounced my name wrong." And so it's like, that's quite ungrateful of you. You know, I just spent all this time making your object, so why would you say such a thing? So yes, they're all right there, but all of these people have requested that I make Charizard, one of my most favorite Pokemon, because it comes from my #1 most favorite Pokemon, which is Charmander. After evolving from Charmeleon, the result is Charizard, and of course, starting out with a Gargoyle I think is best mostly because of the wings, and this is a good way that the wings will actually flap up and down. They do kind of flap in a weird way, they move in a weird way, I guess, because the Gargoyle's wings really vertically move up and down instead of like kind of out and in, and so we've taken the thigh, I guess, of a Dilophosaurus, and that's actually the spitters in Jurassic Park. You know, those dinosaurs do not spit in real life, or didn't spit in real life. I can't say it presently, unfortunately. Or is it fortunately? I don't know. I really like dinosaurs, so the fact that they're not around anymore, it's like, yeah, I'm sure we'd all get eaten and everything, but I really liked dinosaurs. I thought they were cool. And so we also use, just typing in dinosaur, we've got its leg right here, and we also put another one of its legs down right underneath the Pegasus head. So yes, that head right there is of a Pegasus. This is one of many ways I think that you could do Charizard's head. I kind of did it so that I wouldn't have to deal with stamp space, whether, you know, I don't know if I'm going to run out or not, but we're going to see. And Charizard's eyes are actually, right here I'm using this trapezium shape, but his eyes are actually different shades. If depending on what picture you're looking at, I guess, and which game he comes from and everything, his eyes are actually different shades of blue in various games. So I just did a darker one here. We'll make the object in Scribblenauts Unmasked a little bit different, and I'll make a different shade of blue for his eyes, maybe a lighter shade, because this one's pretty dark. And so, of course, I've also just used the dinosaurs, a neck piece of the dinosaur for the neck of Charizard, and we're using a pterodactyl body right here for the belly, and the belly leading into the tail for Charizard. And if you just type in Fireball, that'll make the flame on the end of his tail, and it's really important that you type Fireball, because if you just type Fire, or I think even just Flame comes out this way, it makes you the little campfire, like wooden platform that they would set the fire on, so it doesn't actually give you the fire and whatnot. But yeah, we used the dinosaur's other leg. I don't know if I completed that thought, but we used it right beneath the Pegasus's head for Charizard's lower mouth section, or his jaw, basically. And so we, of course, want him to tower over Maxwell. Maxwell's a little 10-year-old or 11-year-old kid. Don't correct me, I don't know what his exact age is, but I don't need like a million comments for the rest of my life saying what his age is. But we're gonna edit his scripting here. I'll let you guys look at what I'm doing and whatnot while I read off actually fun facts. That is something that I have brought to the series somewhat recently. I've been doing it for a few episodes now, and I think it hits pretty big. I mean, not a whole lot of people comment about it, but I do think that it's worthwhile, and you may know who all the characters are or whatever, but some people also may not know some of the characters or not know these fun facts. So, based on my research, Charizard, actually, I read that Charizard has a ratio of 7 males to 1 female, which means that there are 7 times as many male Charizards than females. And Charizard's fire is actually strong enough to melt boulders, and it can fly up to 4,600 feet high. In Japan, it's actually called Lizardon, and I actually noticed that when I was watching some Super Smash Bros. Brawl videos before that game ever even came out in the US, because of course it came out in Japan earlier, and so the announcer was saying Lizardon instead of Charizard, so that was interesting, of course. And you can see here what I was talking about, the wings with Charizard and whatnot. I do have a script on him right now that he basically becomes brave and fire breathing whenever you summon him, you know, when he's created. And the brave, of course, is for what we're going to demonstrate here. We've got this angry bull who's really strong, but not strong enough for Charizard. But if I hadn't done the brave adjective, Charizard would probably run away from that bull. Most likely. I'm not sure what the Gargoyle's behavior pattern is, but I want him to be brave and not shy away from any fights. So Let's test it one more time. I don't know why I'm focused on bulls right here, but let's have him fight off the bull, and it's a quick, easy win for Charizard. So I hope you guys like that, of course, but now we're going to look at a different way to make Charizard, and in Scribblenauts Unmasked, if you actually type in Bivix, it's spelled with 2 V's, B-I-V-V-I-X, I believe, it gets you this alligator-looking face that I just threw into the trash right here. Now we're going to do Simfet Tau. It's actually this weird-looking wormy fly thing, or whatever, and so we're going to use that for the tail, just to give some variety here and to make things a little bit different. You know, you could make the Charizard in Scribblenauts Unmasked exactly the same as I made it in Scribblenauts Unlimited. So if you just have Unmasked and not Unlimited, there you can use my video to make the Charizard that way if you like it better. But this Charizard that I'm going to make here in Unmasked is actually a different look at it, of course, and will be made differently. But a lot of things are still the same, of course. We're using talons for the hands. Just use the gargoyle's normal arms, but shrink them a lot, because Charizard does have small little T-Rexy like arms or whatever. And so we're going to mostly do all the same scripts, of course. I made him go decently fast, of course. And Charizard, I mean, I don't know how slow or fast he's going to move on the ground, but, you know, when you see Charizard in the cartoon and whatnot in the air, I mean, he can fly fast. So we made him decently fast, at least. And the thing that I'm very excited about, of course, with Scribblenauts Unmasked is that we have these superpowers. So this is what I definitely want to emphasize here. The superpower attacks, we can actually put multiple on, so I'm going to do kind of like the Plasma Burst Orange and give him a Scratch attack, why not? And Charizard can know how to do Smoke Screen if you had taught it to him beforehand, so we'll go ahead and have a Smoke attack, or whatever, the Smoke Cloud, and give that to Charizard. And so this Charizard, actually, we use the dinosaur's tail, the very, very end of its tail, we use that for the horns. You notice that Bivix, the little alligator-looking head of that hero, it doesn't have the horns on it, and so I had to add the horns. That was something about the Scribblenauts Unlimited Charizard that I made that couldn't really be altered. You could do it different ways, again, but the way that I did it with the Pegasus head was that the Pegasus's ears are supposed to act like the horns for Charizard, but the ears actually go kind of straight up. They go back just a tiny bit, but Charizard, the actual Charizard Pokemon, its horns kind of go backwards like this, diagonally backwards. So we have definitely corrected that kind of element of it in Scribblenauts Unmasked here. And so we'll test out to see if he does some of his maybe special powers and whatnot. I don't remember what this guy's called. I put him out on the field a little while ago, but there was the smoke attack, and so of course we have him set to shoot fireballs up, and there was one of his, I guess that was the orange plasma burst that just went down there. Definitely we should replay this with another villain so that maybe we can see the battle, see what happens. So to make them fight, I have to press interact. You know, I make him interact, which makes Charizard shoot out his fireball or whatever, and I have to do it when it's facing the villain so that he'll actually shoot it and not me or something, or completely shoot the other way. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, so okay, right there, we'll go ahead and slow it down in post-editing, but that was the orange plasma burst. You could just consider that like another move of Charizard's, you know, it's, I wanted him to just have more attacks than just that one. And so, of course, with Pokemon X and Y coming out, I will go ahead and at the end of this show you the Mega evolution of Charizard for Mega Charizard in the X and Y games. I'll do that all in post and just say my goodbyes right now. I appreciate everybody's attention, all of you loving fans and everything. I've been getting some really great positive feedback, and I appreciate that a lot. It definitely means a lot to me, so keep the comments coming, and I love you guys over there in Kendopolis. So, of course, remember not to request anything for a whole year, because I'm not taking on new requests for 1 year at least, and get ready for a new Scribble Ventures episode coming out later on this month, which this month is October, so it will be coming towards the end. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing. To all wrongdoers, they're like a spectacle, so you can be the viewer and
down the road of twist.